You know when you deposit a check with your phone, it feels so instant, so simple. But have you ever wondered what's happening behind the scenes? Well, it turns out that simple tap on your screen is the end of a long, fascinating story. One filled with giant machines, magical ink, and a database revolution that literally changed how money moves. So let's pull back the curtain and dig into this secret history.
Okay, so let's start with the central problem, and it was a huge one. Before all our digital magic, money was physical. We're talking trillions of dollars moving around as billions of individual pieces of paper. How on earth did the financial system even begin to handle that? It was a massive, overwhelming flood of paper, every single day.
I mean, you really have to picture this. Every day, banks were getting buried in literal sacks and sacks of checks. Each one had to be sorted, routed, and balanced. Trying to do this by hand was quickly becoming a joke. The volume was just astronomical. They desperately needed a machine, some kind of system, to automate this monumental task.
And the answer, well, it came in a form that sounds a little like something out of a spy movie: magnetic ink. The genius behind this technology, called MICR, was that the ink was infused with iron oxide particles. This meant a machine could read the numbers on the check magnetically, completely ignoring anything written over them, like stamps or signatures. It was the absolute key to making high-speed automation reliable.
You've seen this line at the bottom of a check a million times, right? Well, it's not just a random string of numbers. Each little part has a critical job to do. You've got the routing number, which tells the system what bank to go to. Then the account number points directly to the right person. And the check number? That's the unique ID for this one transaction. It's basically a perfect little data packet, all printed in that magic ink.
So if MICR was the magic ink, then this was the master sorcerer. Meet the IBM 3890. This thing was a room-sized beast, an absolute marvel of engineering, and it was the workhorse of the banking world for decades. It was designed to do one thing and one thing only: process paper checks at a speed that was almost unbelievable.
And just how fast are we talking? Get this, 2,400 checks every single minute. That's 40 checks a second. Before you can even blink, this machine could read the magnetic ink, capture all the data, and physically sort each check into exactly the right bin. It's just incredible.
But you know, all that incredible mechanical speed would just be chaos without a powerful brain to make sense of all that data. And that brain was a mainframe application called CPCS, the Check Processing Control System. This was the really sophisticated software that took that tornado of paper and turned it into organized, balanced financial data.
So let's quickly walk through how this whole database process actually worked. Step 1. The 3890 reads the MICR data. Then CPCS logs every single detail: bank, account, amount, you name it. Based on that data, the machine physically launches the paper checks into different pockets for routing. And finally, the whole system reconciles the totals, making sure every last penny is accounted for.
So for decades, this system of magnetic ink and physical sorting absolutely ruled the financial world. But then, a new revolution started bubbling up. One that would eventually make those giant sorting machines and the fleets of trucks and planes moving all that paper totally obsolete. We're entering the digital age. You can see the whole journey mapped out right here. It all kicks off in the 50s with MICR. Then in '73, the 3890 comes along and just supercharges the whole process. The next big leap comes in the 90s with check imaging, literally taking a picture of the check. But the final crucial piece of the puzzle wasn't about technology. It was about the law. And here it is, the Check 21 Act. This law was the absolute game changer. It officially declared that a high-quality digital picture of a check was just as legally valid as the original piece of paper. This one single act finally unlocked the door to a fully electronic system. No more paper needed. The result was, honestly, profound. The check became dematerialized. It no longer had to be a physical thing that you flew on a plane or drove in a truck across the country. It could now exist purely as data, an image file and the MICR info. The paper was at last becoming irrelevant. And this whole dematerialization thing brings us right into the modern day and right to that device that's probably in your hand or your pocket right now. The amazing thing is, the fundamental ideas developed for those giant old mainframe systems, they are still hard at work, just in a totally different form. So today, that giant IBM 3890 has been completely replaced by your phone's camera.
And instead of just reading magnetic ink, the software uses something called optical character recognition, or OCR. It's smart enough to visually read all the text on the check, the microline, the amount you wrote, everything, right from the picture you just took.
When you put it side by side like this, the transformation is just staggering. We went from machines the size of a room to a camera that fits in your pocket, from entire fleets of trucks and planes to instant data transmission. The whole physical system for moving paper has been replaced by a digital one. It's incredible.
And this, right here, is really the core idea of this whole story. The technology has changed almost beyond recognition. We've gone from magnetic ink to mobile pixels. But the fundamental database logic, the process of routing, validating the data, and reconciling all the numbers, that has stayed exactly the same.
That same little data packet, routing number, account number, amount, it's still the lifeblood of the entire system. But today, it does so much more than just get sorted into a pocket. It feeds sophisticated fraud detection engines, flows through digital clearinghouses, updates your banking app in real time, and powers all those complex bank reconciliation systems.
So it really leaves us with a fascinating question to think about. In a world where the tech is always changing, what are those core, fundamental rules of data, like capture, validate, and reconcile, that just never change? The story of the check really shows us that sometimes the logic can outlive the machine by decades.